नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 2 श्लोक 11। अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः। गीतोपदेश begins with this shloka. In Gitopadesha, we have 18 chapters. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. The 18 chapters can be divided into 3 kandas. The first 6 chapters form the first kanda, first section, which is called Purva Kanda. According to Anandagiri. The speciality of this Purva Kanda, it highlights the meaning of Tvampada. Tvampadartha vichara pradhana. The enquiry into Tvampada is pradhana, predominant. Another speciality is in these 6 chapters, in this kanda, Karma Yoga is also discussed predominantly. Then there is a Madhyama Kanda, starting from chapter 7 up to 12. It is Tatpadartha Pradhana. Tatpada is mainly dealt with. In Tattvamasi Mahavakya, there is Tatpada and Tvampada. The second kanda, Madhyama Kanda, discusses Tatpada. So it is a not a very precise classification, but based on the predominance, some acharyas classify so. Also, bhakti is discussed in this Madhyama Kanda. Bhakti is predominantly dealt with. And in the last one, Antima Kanda, starting from chapter 13 up to chapter 18, 6 chapters. Antima Kanda. It is Aikya, the Vakyartha, the equation between Tatpada and Tvampada is highlighted. Tattvam Aikya. Also, the importance of jnana is highlighted in these sections. In the Antima Kanda. So, first one is Tvampada, second one is Tatpada, and the final one is Aikya, Tattvam Aikya. Sometimes they also refer to it as Asipada, but generally it is not told so. So, Tatpada, Tvampada, Aikya, which is called Vakyartha. It is Vakyartha. So, Tvampadartha, Tatpadartha, then Vakyartha. So, another level, in the first one, karma is highlighted, karma yoga. Second one, bhakti is highlighted. And the third one, jnana is highlighted. So, this is not a very strict compartmentalization. It is just a way of analysis, that's all. We don't have to hold on to this kind of classification. So, Anandagiri mentions this in his Vyakhyana. That is why I mentioned. So, now the Upadesha begins. Ashochan anvashocastvam. Bhagavan has now become Gitacharya. Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha. From Partha Sarathi, now he has become Gitacharya, the teacher of Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna has accepted Krishna as his Guru. Shishyasteham shadhiman tvam prapannam. That is why the following verses are Upadesha from a Guru to Shishya. Tvam ashochan anvashochaha. You are grieving for the ones who do not deserve to be grieved for. Ashochan. They are not shocyaha. Shocya means one who deserves to be grieved for. There is a valid reason to grieve for someone. Then he is called shocya. But these people are ashocyaha. They do not deserve to be grieved for. There is no valid reason to grieve for them. Bhashyakara says, Krishna is referring to Bhishma, Drona and the like. Bhishma Dronadayaha. They are ashocyaha. But tvam anvashochaha. You have grieved for them. Anvashochaha. Past tense. You have grieved for them. In chapter 1 itself. So, grieving for someone without a valid reason indicates that the person is deluded. He does not see the truth. He is ignorant of the truth. Because if there is a clarity, clear understanding of the truth, one will not grieve for without a valid reason. Therefore, you are ignorant. But prajñāvādāśca bhāshase. You are speaking like a wise man. Prajñāvādān. The words of wisdom, words of wise men. Bhāshase. You speak. In chapter 1. Also a little bit in chapter 2. Arjuna spoke like a wise man. If it is not Krishna, any other person, they would have shaken their head. Because all his arguments sounded correct. But Krishna knows the problem. The problem in his argument. Prajñāvādāśca bhāshase. You are speaking the words of wise men. So one side there is ignorance, another side you are trying to show wisdom as though you are wise. This is a symptom of confusion. Because the second line, Gatāsūn agatāsūnsca nānuṣocanti panditāha. Panditāha. Jnāninaha. The jnanis. Gatāsūn agatāsūnsca. Gatāsūn means the dead ones, those who have died, and agata soon, those who have not died. Na anushochanti, they do not grieve for. A Pandita, Atmajnani, is free from sorrow because he sees the Atmavastu, only one reality, and he knows that life and death are mithya, they are not real from the absolute point of view. So this is a premise, a pratijna. In Chandogyopanishad, chapter 7, there is a statement. Tarati shokam atmavit. Atmavit shokam tarati. An Atmajnani is free from shoka, sorrow. That is how Chandogya chapter 7 begins. Likewise, even in Bhagavad Gita, Upadesha, Krishna gives the importance of Atmajnana. Panditaha Atmajnaninaha na anushochanti. They are free from shoka. They are free from samsara. Implying jnana is the means for moksha. Jnanat muktihi. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is a book of jnana, gives Atmajnana. It can be known from this very opening statement how to get Atmajnana. That is what he is going to say. So, what will be told mainly in the book is told as introduction in the first verse itself. So, Jnani, a true Jnani, is free from shoka. But you have shoka. Therefore, you are an Ajnani. You cannot hide your Ajnana because you are in tears. Shochati, Anvashochaha. But in the meantime, you are trying to sound as though you are a wise man. So you are an Ajnani. That is the idea. Therefore, you have to get rid of your Ajnana. That is why you need Atmajnanopadesha. Krishna is conveying to Arjuna the importance of Atmajnana for himself as a solution to his own personal problem. We will see the bhashya. Ashochyanityadi. So, no, that's fine. In some books, this is there in Kailasashram book. Ashochyanityadi. Bhashyakara is just showing that he is going to explain this verse. He is going to explain the verse Ashocyan, etc. It is called a Pratika Grahanam. He is taking a first part and adding Ityadi. Ashocyan Ityadi, indicating that तत्र तत्र दर्शयिष्यामः. No, that is different. That's different. That is different. There it is different. Here, just before the shloka is being explained. So, yeah. न शोच्याः अशोच्याः भीष्मद्रोणादयः सद्वृत्तत्वात् परमार्थरूपेण च नित्यत्वात् न शोच्याः अशोच्याः. Shocyaha means the ones who deserve to be grieved for. Na shocyaha ashocyaha. Those who are not shocyaha, they do not deserve grief. They are called Ashocyaha. Who are they? Bhishma Dronadayaha. Bhishma, Drona, Adi, Kripa, Ashwathama, Shalya. So many are there. Vikarna. So in Dhartarashtra army, so many were really in favor of Pandavas, and they did not like Duryodhana, but desperately they had to join the army of Dhartarashtra. It is evident when we read Mahabharata. So, Bhishma Dronadayaha, Adi, so many are there, whom Arjuna does not really want to kill. So, why they are Ashocyaha? Bhashyakara explains from two standpoints. One is from the Vyavaharika standpoint. From the empirical standpoint, they are Ashocyaha. Because Bhishma, Drona, they have not done any adharma. They are Sadvrittaha. They are Dharmikaha. They adhere to their Swadharma. They are good conducted people. Even in fighting the war, they are not doing adharma. For them it is dharma yuddha. from the standpoint of Bhishma and Drona. Therefore, even if they die in the war, in the battlefield, they are not going to lose anything. Instead, they will go to Swarga. Hatova prapsyasi Swargam. It is the dharma of a Kshatriya. When he performs his Swadharma and he dies, he will go to Swarga. Therefore, from the Vyavaharika standpoint, they do not deserve grief. They are Ashocyaha. Sadvrittatvat. They are Sadvrittaha. They are men of proper conduct. Therefore, Ashocyaha. And now, from the Paramarthika perspective, from the perspective of absolute reality, also they are Ashocyaha. Because Paramartha Rupena cha Nityatvat. Paramartha Rupena, in their absolute nature, they are all Brahman. Bhishma is also Brahman, Atma. Drona is also Atma. And they are Nitya, Nityatvat. Therefore, you cannot kill the Atma. It is Nitya. Even from that standpoint, they are Ashocyaha. Tan Ashocyan Anvashochaha Anushocitavanasi Te Mriyante Mannimittam Aham Tair Vinabhutaha Kim Karishyami Rajya Sukhadina Iti Tan Ashochan Anvashochaha. You have grieved for them who are really Ashocyaha. How Arjuna has grieved. Te mriyante mannimittam. They die for my sake. Bhishma Dronadayaha. They are dying for my sake. Mannimittam. Aham tair vinabhutah kim karishyami. What will I do without them? Tair vinabhutaha. Without them, what will I do? Even if I get the kingdom. Rajya Sukhadina. Even if I get Rajya Sukha and so on. Even if I get Rajya, victory, kingdom, what is the use if Bhishma, Drona and all my relatives are dead? This was Arjuna's shoka, which was expressed in chapter 1 and the first few shlokas of chapter 2. Iti shochitavanasi, iti anvashochaha. This is how you have grieved for them. त्वं प्रज्ञावतां बुद्धिमतां वादांश्च वचनानि च भाषसे। त्वं प्रज्ञावादान्, भाष्यकार is giving the vigraha vakya, prajnavatam vadan prajnavadan. The words, vada means words, vachanani of prajnavat, one who has prajna, one who has knowledge. Prajnavatam is equal to buddhimatam, those who have buddhi, jnana, wisdom. Vadan, vachanani, bhashase, you speak. So Arjuna's words, when he spoke, he used many reasons. And it sounded reasonable, as it were. Therefore, Krishna says, you are speaking like a wise man. Tadetat maudhyam pandityancha viruddham atmani darshayasi unmattah iva ityabhiprayah. Tadetat. So thus, tat means tasmat, etat maudhyam, this maudhya, maudhya means delusion. Mudha means a deluded person. Mudha does not mean fool. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Who is Mudhamati? Yeah. Deluded, Mudha. One who has moha is called Mudha. He takes one for another. Taking one for another, taking the right for wrong, taking the real for unreal and the unreal for real is moha. One who has moha is called mudha. The status of being mudha is called maudhyam, which is nothing but being deluded. The status of being deluded means delusion. To put it simply, delusion. So you have delusion, that means you have ignorance, ajnana, and pandityancha, and you are showing panditya, wisdom. Viruddham, these two are viruddha. There is a virodha between maudhya and panditya. Atmani darshayasi, you are showing in yourself. Unmattah iva, as though you are mad, you are crazy. Unmattah. Ityabhiprayah. This is Bhagavan's intended meaning. Intended meaning of Bhagavan's words. So, in short, Arjuna is ignorant and confused. There is samsara. in Arjuna. There is ajnana and samsara in Arjuna. Yasmat gatasun gatapranan mritan agatasun agatapranan जीवतश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः आत्मज्ञाः पंडा आत्मविषया बुद्धिः येषां ते हि पंडिताः पाण्डित्यं निर्विद्य इति श्रुतेः यस्मात्. So why you are moodha? What makes me understand that you are deluded and you are ignorant? Yasmat, because panditaha, a pandita, a jnani will not act in this manner. Gatasun is equal to gata pranan. Gataha pranaha yasya saha gata pranaha. One whose prana has gone, prana has left the body, then he is called gatasu. Means mritan, the dead ones, those who have died. Agatasun means agata pranan, the ones whose prana has not yet left the body. Jivataha means jivataha, the ones who are still alive. Na anushocanti, people do not grieve for. They do not grieve for. Who are they? Panditaha, the jnani, a real jnani. Panditaha is equal to atmajnaha. The word pandita can be used in many senses. In general, pandita means a scholar. But here, pandita does not mean a scholar. He has to be, he is an atmajna. Pandita means atmajnani. It is a Vedantic usage of the word pandita. So, how the word pandita can apply to atmajnani? Bhashyakara gives the derivation of the word pandita. Panda atma vishaya buddhihi yesham te panditaha. Panda means atma vishaya buddhihi, atma jnana. Buddhi means jnana. Buddhi does not refer to one of the four faculties as we have studied in Vedanta Sara or Tattva Bodha. Not that buddhi. Here buddhi means jnana. So atma vishaya buddhi, jnana dealing with atma, means atma jnana. It is called panda. Yesham te, those who have panda, they are called panditaha. te hi panditaha. The he indicates Shruti Prasiddhi. In this sense, the word Pandita is used in Shruti. Which Shruti? Bhashyakara quotes Pandityam nirvidya iti Shrutehe. The Shruti Vakya is Pandityam nirvidya balyena tishthāset. Brihadaranyaka. So there the word Pandityam refers to the status of being an Atmajnani. Nirvidya means attaining the status of Atmajnani, means attaining Atmajnana. Iti Shrutehe. From this Shruti, we can understand that the word Pandita means Atmajnani. Paramarthatastu Nityan Ashocyan Anushochasi Ataha Mudhaha Asi Ityabhiprayaha. Paramarthataha Nityan. They are Paramarthataha Nitya. Bhishma Dronadayaha. Bhishma, Drona, all of them Paramarthataha. In reality, they are Nitya. Therefore, nobody is really dying. From a Jnani standpoint, nobody dies, because everyone is Nitya. Therefore, a Jnani will not have grief, free from Shoka. But you are coming to grief. Anushochasi. Paramarthataha Nityan, therefore Ashocyan. Therefore they are Ashocyaha. But you are Anushochasi. You grieve for them. Ataha Mudhaha Asi. Therefore you are Mudhaha. You are deluded, being ignorant. Ityabhiprayaha. This is the Abhipraya, the purport of this shloka. You are an Ajnani, and if you have to be free from grief, you are an Ajnani, therefore you have grief, you have Shoka. If you have to be free from grief, not only grief, if you have to be free from the vulnerability to grief, if you have to be free from emotional vulnerability, then there is only one means. It is Atmajnana. Therefore, make effort for Atmajnana. How to make effort for Atmajnana? Please listen to me. Krishna says, Natvevaham jatu nasam न त्वन्नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्. So we have to do अन्वय of this shloka. Aham jatu na asam. Aham, I. Jatu. Jatu means kadachit, at any point of time. Na, two nas. Na, asam, existed, full stop. Aham jatu na asam. Asam means I was. Aham asam. I was. I existed. Na asam means I did not exist. Na asam. I did not exist. One more na. Na asam. I did not exist does not happen. It never happens. Jatu. Jatu na. It never happens that I did not exist. It never happened that I did not exist. Means I always existed. The two negatives make a stronger positive. A positive which cannot be negated. The two negatives, when we use two negations, the possibility of negation is negated. The possibility of negation is negated when you use two negatives. That is how it becomes a very strong positive. So, aham jatu na asam means I always existed. There was never a time when I did not exist. Anadikala, from beginningless time. That is why there is no beginning. Don't ask when we began. Never. Ever we existed. No, there is a tu and eva, natveva, tu and eva. How to connect another sentence? Tu, but, instead, asam eva. I always existed. So this is just a restatement of the previous one. Only the language is different. In the previous statement, it was conveyed through double negative. Here it is conveyed in a positive way. Tu asam eva. I always existed. Another statement, tvam na asihi. Tvam na asihi. Tvam asihi. You existed. Na asihi. You did not exist. Na asihi. Jatu. Jatu can be connected here also. Tvam jatu na asihi. There was never a time when you did not exist. Meaning, tu asihi eva. The tu eva should be brought here also. Tu, but instead, asihi eva. You always existed. Another sentence, ime janadhipaha na asan. Ime janadhipaha. Janadhipaha means kings. These kings who are standing in front of us. Na asan. Asan means existed. They existed. Plural. All these are various forms of as dhatu in past tense. Lang lakara. Ime janadhipaha na asan. There was never a time when these janadhipaha, these kings did not exist. Tu asan eva. They all existed ever in the past. And the same thing can be extended to future also. Even in future, there won't be a time when they will not exist or we will not exist. Sarve vayam, all of us, including me, you and they. Sarve vayam, we all. Ataf param, now on, after this point of time, means in future. Na bhavishyamaha. Na bhavishyamaha. Eva. Na eva na bhavishyamaha. Definitely, there won't be a time when we will not exist. Na eva, definitely not. Na bhavishyamaha, we will not exist. We will not exist. It will definitely not happen. Tu bhavishyamaha eva, but instead we will definitely exist in the future. Meaning, the Atma is eternal, not time bound. Atma nityaha, kala paricheda rahitaha, free from limitation in terms of time. We will see the bhashya in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।